What's up, guys, and welcome back to another day of Karma Motorsports. Today we're gonna end up finishing these fork situation, cleaning them up, changing the tops, putting them on that other bike, and starting on the wire harness, setting up the full wire harness, and maybe buttoning up the back end of it, stuff like that, getting the wiring hooked up to the back taillight and stuff like that, and just getting the bike ready to drop the motor in. So tune in, guys. Anyways, guys, I figured out my tool situation and get my front axle off the wheel. So this is like barely big enough to fit in the wheel, so I put the rag on so that it doesn't strip my bolts. So what you guys think about that? Go ahead and remove these forks from this triple tree. You'll need a 12. So I had a little bit of help, but I took the forks off thanks to Crazy Ray right here. He's the one that comes and cuts my grass. He helped me out. So I'm about to get these forks rebuilt and put on this bike nice and clean. I started cleaning the lower triple tree with some mineral spirits because, you know, I like my bikes clean, and the front end of the frame a little bit. Now I'm about to clean those other forks and slap them on here real quick. So after cleaning all that, I cleaned the fork with some more mineral spirit to come out crispy clean. Look at that top, shiny. I'm about to clean this one right here. Look how dirty that is. While I go ahead and wait for some help, I decided to take the rotors off this rim that we're gonna use, clean them up, and then we're probably gonna paint this rim right here and put a different tire, of course, on this. So that's what we're gonna do. Bam, no rotors. Cleaned it up. Gonna put the forks on it, put it actually on the bike so I can roll the bike before we even get the stuff to paint this shit. I set up the forks on the wheel so I can put it on the bike. That way, when I go to clean up later, I can move it around until I can buy the paint and the air paint remover to take that black off that wheel later on tonight. So stay tuned. See how crispy these forks are, huh? I went ahead and adjusted my forks the way that I wanted them. On the bottoms too, y'all don't already know. Alexander's coming over to help me put those forks real quick on my bike. So since this is gonna be a little street bike, you know, we gotta have the upgraded cush drives for the wheel. And we got a built transmission too on this motor, so this and that little combo right there, just wait, guys. Just Alexander pulled up to come help me. I cleaned the rotors because they had some slight rust on them. So as you can see, they're nice and clean now. Compared to this, of what they looked like. And afterwards, this is how we're looking. Flip this over so y'all can see that there ain't no more rust. Now that I got all that clean, I hop back over to this triple tree right here, so I can set up the lowering one that's over there. So I don't know if you guys know, but OEM Hayabusa triple trees, they have these little covers on them that you remove. Look like this. I don't really like these things. I don't care for them. I kind of like how the Allen key looks, but anyways, it exposes an Allen key for you to be able to remove the triple tree, since I'm stealing all the bolts and hardware from this so I can use it onto that one, which you can see I clearly don't have that on that one. So that's what I'm doing now. Slide the plastic spacer underneath the lowering triple tree. Goes a sandwich in between here. Just for you. And like y'all know, every bolt's got to be clean and stuff. So you see all this rust. This is my homemade parts cleaner section of the house. So this is what I'm gonna be doing. Rust-free bolts. This is how she's gonna look. She's ready to go. I'm gotta just put the ignition switch on, empty the forks, and that's it. Now we just gotta take the ignition off. And for the ignition, you need this dandy Allen key tool right here. Now we got the ignition off. Gotta clean it up, of course, because you already know. And the bolts that go to it too. So we're gonna go ahead and clean the ignition. All you gotta do for that is put some WD-40 in there. So if you guys ever have any sticky ignitions, look at that, it's crisp every single time, all the way to lock. And I didn't really film what we did, but Alexander helped me put the forks on. From here, all I gotta do is just adjust the height on it. We're gonna slam this bitch. You guys already know how I like my bikes, but right now I'm gonna put the triple tree on there. But before I do that, I'm gonna put the ignition on first. Anyways, guys, so I continue to wait for help. Where I left off, I got the whole triple tree, everything ready to be slapped on to these forks, but I need some help maneuvering these things so I can align the triple tree on there perfectly and not mess anything up, and just go ahead and tighten everything down for the one and only time that, you know, it'll be going on there. And then hopefully after that I can just adjust the height on it and start, but even before that I can just start putting the wiring harness and stuff together onto this bike and getting it ready for when the motor comes. But for right now, I just got a call from my boy JJ, and he wants the links on the swing arms. He wants to put them on a second gen booster, so I'm gonna go ahead and take those off right now. So this is a swing arm. I don't know if you guys are familiar with extensions or not, but they're actually quite easy. And all you really have to do is unbolt these two bolts from the inside of the swing arm. Every OEM swing arm will have the thread to thread these in order to put your extensions on. You're gonna want to make sure that when you put them on, you use Loctite so that this doesn't back out with all the vibrations or anything like that, and then you have a big whoopsie. Just like that, guys. When you undo those bolts, these little blocks comes out and looks something like that. And this should come out. Hopefully you don't have to smack yours around like this, but sometimes you do, because it's a little bitch. Trying to find my rubber mallet. Didn't mean to knock the camera down, but just like that, it'll come out. Boom. Referring to what I said earlier, the actual extension link has the screw in for the bolts. And then when you have this little hole, and then this little thing slides in there, holds it in place, and then just clamp it down with this. And like I said, make sure you use Loctite. Alright guys, so it is a couple days after that last clip that I filmed. Got busy with life. But good news, guys. I went ahead and I picked up some paint and some paint thinner stuff so I can go ahead and paint these rims. So I'm about to hop on over to that. So this is what we're gonna be using to strip and primer and clean the wheel. So you guys know. I'm gonna go ahead and tape this off. You don't want to get paint in there. Not that that really matters, but mostly the inside of the bearing. Then we're gonna go ahead and clean them and re-grease them. So now we got the paint stripper here, and we're gonna just cake it up on the rim, and then it'll start bubbling up this this black paint. And then you just kind of, you can pressure wash it off, which is probably what I'll end up doing because it'll be the easiest. Or you can grab Brillo pads and gloves and it'll come right off. It'll make a hell of a mess though, I'll tell you what. So it's gonna look like this. This is the process. It's kind of messy, but it's working. The front rim's probably gonna be a lot fucking harder to do than this one. So after some coats of this paint stripper and pressure washing it, this is what it's looking like. Then after this, we'll use the Brillo pad to get the excess stuff off and pressure wash it once again, and it'll be perfect. And after we do that, we are going to go ahead and dry it up and put primer on it, and then wet sand it. And we could honestly start painting tonight, but it started raining. I don't know if you guys can see how wet it is outside, so I don't think we're gonna do much painting. This is the finished product. You can see some of the old primer that they used from factory, but that doesn't matter. We're gonna put more primer and sand it down and make it all nice. But yeah, that's how she looks. Side's clean too. Just gotta wait for it to dry up a little bit, and we'll start spraying down some primer. On to the next one. So while we go ahead and wait for this wheel to bubble up, we're gonna go ahead and primer that wheel real quick. So as some of you may know, I live in Tampa, Florida, and we're supposed to be getting some Category 3 hurricane coming in, and starting to feel it right now. We got some high winds. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like coming and going. There it goes. It's getting windy and it was raining. Florida life, I tell you. This is what we do during a hurricane. I'm no professional painter, but that looks pretty good for what I'm about to do. So this is what we're looking like with the primer right now. Can't really mess up primer, so it probably looks really good. I just gotta wait for it to dry and wet sand it and paint it the color that Melly wants it. So as you guys can see, we went ahead and we handled the fork situation and the triple tree situation. I still have to go to Ace Hardware and get some bolts and stuff, but I'm gonna end this video right here and pick up everything else in another video. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching my videos. Please be sure to subscribe, leave a like if you like this video, and tune in for the next video.